My DMs are usually full of, "Bhaiya, how did you end up clearing CFA at such a young age?" If this is not the DM, then students usually ask me, "Bhaiya, how did you do FRM?" If not this, then many of them ask me, "GMAT, what was your process for GMAT? How did you end up scoring such a high score in GMAT?" If not that, then some of them ask me SAT scores. I've given all these exams, including GRE, IELTS, and some other exams. And I've scored well in these exams. But some students think, "Bhaiya, aap bachpan se itne zyada smart the?" Honestly, no. I was amongst the most average students in the class. I never scored a position in any class. But for these competitive exams, I figured out a way to score high in these exams. And if you have an exam within the next 2-3 months, just watch this video till the end and I can promise you that your performance would be 20% better than if you did not watch this video. Let's directly get into it. First thing that I always do with every exam is find out the value of the exam. You'll be like, "What? Value of the exam?" Now, let me give you an example. If I talk about CFA, if I end up clearing CFA, I will be getting a job of 6 to 7 lakh rupees. If I end up clearing GMAT, then I will be getting a good university, and a good university would be worth 20-30 lakh rupees. So if I end up doing well in this one exam, this is the value that I will be getting. Now, if I have to prepare for this exam, how much should I invest? Always think about it in terms of the investment that you're putting in. What I see some students do is they would be penny wise and dollar foolish. What do I mean by that? They don't spend money on studying for this good content, but they just want good results out of it. Trust me, I have spent more than 8 lakh rupees just on tuitions. And you'll think, "Wow, such a dumb person to spend 8 lakh rupees. No, this has been the best investment because this has been an investment in myself. The kind of universities, the kind of places that I've reached is because of those tuitions. I'm not recommending you to join tuitions, but what I'm recommending you is take help from people who already know the process. Make it streamlined for yourself. There are people who are willing to help you. Take their help. And trust me, when we're in a time condition 2 to 3 months to the exam, then I would invest this money. But yes, I will try to figure out the value of this exam. Now, at the same time, if I ask you IELTS exam, what is the value of an IELTS exam? It is a basic requirement. If I get a 9 on IELTS, good. 8, good. 7, good. 6.5, good. So until I'm getting a 6.5 in IELTS, I am gold. I don't care. So that is why I won't take a tuition for an exam like IELTS. But for an exam that will change my life, I would invest money. So I won't be penny wise and dollar foolish. Second most important thing is notes. People just don't understand the importance of notes. Try to envision this. You're going to study today, and then you're going to give the exam of the same thing 3 months down the line or 4 months down the line. Would you remember everything that you read that day? 4 months. If I ask you, what did you eat 4 months ago? Today's day minus 4 months, what did you eat? Do you have any idea what happened in that day? So how would you completely remember what all did you study 4 months ago? So making notes is one of the most important things, and this goes in every subject that I study for. I make notes, and if you look at my notes, they're so beautiful. I use 3 pens. Look at this. Blue, black, red. Anything that I feel like I'll forget, I'll write that in red. Anything that's general, I'll write that in blue. And anything that is introducing the concept, I will write that in black. Why do I do that? Because I want it to be in a comprehensive way, written in my own language. If you look at it, I sometimes use Hindi in between. Yes, when I'm using red pen, I might as well use Hindi. Why? Because this is something that I can relate to. You don't have to take cheat notes from someone else, but you have to make your own notes so that at the last date, you can revise this. This is CFA notes, and if you ask me, I give CFA 2 years ago. If you ask me today, Murad, can you give CFA again tomorrow? I just need to revise this because this is my language. I have written this. I remember everything, just that I want to go through this once. And for those people who will go through the textbooks, which are like 6-7 books of 600 pages, 3,600 pages in totality, it's just going to be very tough for them. Not for you because you didn't make notes. People keep on saying that all these exams are marathon. You have to study every day. True to a certain extent. You do have to study every day, but the kind of studies has to be incremental. What do I mean by incremental studies? So, if you plan to study 1 hour today, that's fine. You can study 1 hour for the entire week. But for next week, it has to be 1 hour 20 minutes. For next to next week, it has to be 1 hour 40 minutes. And as we move towards the exam, it has to be 8 to 10 hours. Yes, it has to be 8 to 10 hours towards the exam. 1 week before the exam, I will be studying the most. 2 weeks before the exam, that would be slightly lower. Why? Because we want this process to be in a way of funnel. This should be increasing. Okay? You look at the less than symbol, right? You have to follow that less than symbol. That means in the beginning, even if you're not putting in too many efforts, fine, but it should always keep on increasing. What usually happens with students is that they start with a huge commitment. They keep on going with this commitment for a week, and then they have an exam, and then they don't stop studying for whichever extra exam that they have to give, be it CFA, CPA, any of these exams. They just stop studying for it, and their graph comes with something like this, and then they don't study. for a week or 2 weeks, and then they come back. So this bottleneck that you're looking at, this you have to completely eliminate. If you don't do that, you are going to fail the exam. You are going to flunk the exam, because this is the worst thing that can happen to your preparation, because whatever you studied here is something that you'll not remember here. So always remember one thing for a fact, that your preparation has to be continuous. If you know that you have a marriage coming up in next month, completely fine, don't study for it. Study less right now, so that you conserve your energy and study more after the exam. But if you know that for a fact that you will be able to take out time even during the marriage, that's fine, then go ahead and study. This is the most controversial thing that I've said, but trust me, the number of CFA students that have cleared because of me, GMAT students that have cleared because of me, just outnumbers the controversy. Next major mistakes that students do, now we're talking about the major blunders that you can do in an exam, is not maintain an error log. If you didn't know what an error log means, trust me, your chances of clearing the exam just went up by 30%. Now this is what a sample error log would look like. You have to give a reason why you're doing a question wrong. Question number, this was wrong, this was my accuracy percentage, and a reason. See here, lesson I learned. Many students, what they do is, they do a question and then check their accuracy, and they're like, oh, 60% accuracy, oh, 70% accuracy, 80% accuracy. All of that is bullshit. How does that help you? Please try and explain it to me, that an exam that you gave at home, which was not supervised, which was not timed, you gave that, you got 80% accuracy, and you're getting happy. For what? If you get happy for an 80% accuracy, trust me, you're not doing it the correct way. Why did you get the wrong answer wrong? You have to know that. So first, whenever I do a question wrongly, I re-attempt it. I tried to figure out what would be the answer. Okay, let's suppose I wasn't able to figure out what was the reason. Then I check the answer, and then I write it down, I type it, that this was the reason that my question went wrong. You did a silly mistake, that's a blunder, because you cannot learn anything from a silly mistake, right? So you have to write it down. Until and unless you're using your fingers to write this thing, you would never comprehend the kind of mistake that you made. And this thing would drive up your accuracy tremendously. How does it help? Why? Because next time, if anything similar comes up, you know the concept. One. Second, you know where you're going wrong. Many students just don't know where they're going wrong. They just keep on revising the same thing. Revision is one of the most dumbest things I've seen students do, because they study again what they already studied. Wait, you just studied something, right? Why are you studying it again? Just because you want to do revision? That is such bullshit. So you're revising something which you already studied. That means you didn't study it properly in the first attempt. So what I would rather revise is something that I did not study properly in the first attempt, and not revise something that I studied properly. Because if I spend time on studying something, why would I keep on revising the same thing? But if I have an error log, I can exactly know where I'm going wrong and which concept do I need to do again. So error log increases your chances of clearing the exam at least by 30%. I'm just going to call you outright dumb for not maintaining an error log if you don't. I mean, I know you would maintain that from now onwards. Next thing is mocks, and mocks are important. Mocks have to be given in exam conditions. What do I mean by exam conditions? It has to be timed. You cannot take breaks between mocks. That's not how it is done, because many of these exams are a test of your time-taking ability. I can swear upon my mother that many of these exams, at least for CFA and FRM, it used to happen that 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the exam, I feel like, what the fuck? Why don't I remember? Why can't I recall these concepts? Why? Because my brain cannot process more information. If I have already given 120 minutes processing the most difficult part, and now you ask me to keep on doing it again and again, I can't. But if I have a habit of giving mocks every day, if I end up giving 7 or 8 mocks, the exam day would be so much chill for me. And always give difficult mocks. So keep the level of difficulty of mocks here. If you ask me, for my CFA students, if this is a CFA exam, this is what they prepare for, I test them here. So that on their exam day, everyone says, oh my god, the paper was a cakewalk. Why did we study so much? Because we want to clear the exam, we want to be top 10%. Now, if this video helped you in any way, watch this video in which I specifically discuss about CFA. This is how you do CFA. This is how you do FRM. And if you're looking for GMAT, this video.